When I say the words Harry Potter, what comes to mind? A talking pointed hat? A boy with a lightning bolt scar on his forehead? A noseless pale face? Maybe even just a worn book cover? Even if none of the pictures I mentioned matched your own visual image, you are down to recognize the imagery. Harry Potter is rapidly on its way to becoming a classic. As an article on ChristianAnswers.net said, international presence as readers in 200 nations, in over 40 languages indulge in this series. A U.S. Consumer Research Survey reports that over half of all children between the ages of 6 and 17 have read at least one Harry Potter book. With the financial backing of Warner Brothers, Mattel, Coca-Cola, and Scholastic Inc., Potter is sure to be a force to reckon with for years to come. However, what makes this series so enticing is not as easy to see as visual pictures, and what brings others to criticize it goes much deeper than any imagery. For starters, as the article on ChristianAnswers.net said once again, children are understandably fascinated with the kind of power that Harry Potter and others in his world possess. But also, that's not completely it. It's not just the world, the magical world, that catches their attention and that really brings them to love the series. It's also the morals and the representations of issues that we face every day. For instance, racism, bravery, friendship, love, a struggle between good and evil initially. But it even goes deeper than that. There's a deep-rooted passion inside the series. Throughout each book, you get to know the characters more and more. They become more like family. The final book is my favorite because of this passion. One of my favorite scenes is when you find out exactly what side Severus Snape is on. Snape is a character throughout all 7 books, but the reader is never entirely sure if he's a good character or a bad character until this moment. Also, you find out exactly what Harry Potter must do to beat Voldemort. And the one thing you need to know is, before I read this scene, is that a wizard's Patronus is basically an animal representation of who they are. And when a wizard falls deeply in love with another person, their Patronus changes to match the person that they have fallen in love with. So I'm going to read this scene to give you guys a better image of what I'm talking about as far as passion goes. So the boy must die, asked Snape quite calmly. And if Voldemort himself must do it, Severus, that is essential. Another long silence. Then Snape said, I thought, all these years, that we were protecting him for her, for Lily. We have protected him because it has been essential to teach him, to raise him, to let him try his strength, said Dumbledore, his eyes still tight shut. Meanwhile, the connections between them grows even stronger, a parasitic growth. Dumbledore opened his eyes. Snape looked horrified. You've kept him alive so that he can die at the right moment. Don't be shocked, Severus. How many men and women have you watched die? Lately, only those whom I could not save, said Snape. He stood up. You've used me. Meaning? I have spied for you and lied for you, put myself in mortal danger for you. Everything was supposed to be to keep Lily Potter's son safe. Now you tell me you have been raising him like a pig for slaughter. But this is touching, Severus, said Dumbledore seriously. Have you grown to care for the boy after all? For him? Shouted Snape. Expecto Patronum. From the tip of his wand burst the silver doe. She landed on the office floor, bounded across the office, and soared out of the window. Dumbledore watched her fly away, and as her silvery glow faded, he turned back to Snape, and his eyes were full of tears. After all this time, always, said Snape. That's just an example of the passion that runs through this series. This is just one scene. I'm hoping through this you guys will go back and read the whole series just to understand a little more of what I'm talking about. So another thing that has been surrounding the Harry Potter series is misconceptions that the wizardry and the magic inside of it makes it bad. Some may say that the magic in Harry Potter is not a harmless appeal. Children subconsciously take the magic into account. There are other books that have the same morals, so why is Harry Potter so important? Honestly, Harry Potter is so important because it's unlike most books. This series builds a whole new world. Children may subconsciously take the magical content into account, but they also take this subtle world of adventure and new beginnings into account as well. In the outside world, children will inevitably be bombarded with magic and sorcery, but Harry Potter brings it to them in a way that cannot be taken demonically. Also, some may even point out that in particular moments in the book reflect bad morals. Like, sometimes doesn't Harry Potter condone breaking rules because some of the main characters break school rules all the time throughout the plot of each book. Also, the character's dependence on magic, doesn't that take away from a child's understanding of their dependence on God? Well, in the real world, not every line is clean cut. Harry Potter shows children that that concept in a way that helps them understand that sometimes you will have to make tough decisions to fight for what you believe in. Also, the magic in Harry Potter is not worshipped. It is seen and used more as a skill, like an athlete might utilize in a sport. So, in closing, all in all, though there is skepticism surrounding the use of magic in this series, the good far outweighs the bad. There is passion in Harry Potter series that I've never seen before in other series. It builds characters throughout the series, and it prepares them for the final battle in the last book. The readers, they grow with the characters, they experience the hardships with them, and if that's not powerful, I don't know what is. I did it!